Hey everybody, it's Troy, and I went to the Triangle Pen Show, and I was advised strongly to go on a Friday because that seems to be when it's less crowded and you get a chance to talk to more people. I can't really vouch for the less crowded thing because we went today and we actually left a little earlier than I had really wanted to, only because it was getting really crowded. If I have one complaint, it's that the Triangle Pen Show is not big enough in its space over at the Embassy Suites. And that was a little disappointing to me, just because there were so many people crammed in and people kept bumping into us. But I've got my haul here in front of me. I'm sitting here at my desk, and this is the tote bag that we were given just for participating and showing up and paying our entrance fee. The problem I had with it is it was supposed to be couples. Well, if you're an individual, it's $10 to get through the door. Couples, $15. And I handed the guy a $20 bill, and I don't think he ever gave me back my $5 and change. So, all right, I got hosed on that deal. But first thing we did was we got in there. We noticed it was a fairly crowded room with tables and not a whole lot of space in between. So we went around the perimeter. Never been to a pen show before. It's my first time. Been to plenty of gun shows, so I had the idea of how they work. So it was just the same concept. Instead of firearms and ammunition and reloading supplies, there was a bunch of pens and ink and paper. So there were some things that were on my shopping list that I really needed, and I walked around with that shopping list. Matter of fact, I had this particular list of all my some Esterbrook nibs that I knew I wanted to get, and I found a couple of those. So I had that shopping list going, and then I had a couple other things that I had for a list. For instance, I wanted some talc for ink sacs. I wanted some ink sacs. I meant to pick up some more pen flush, but I didn't. Inks that intrigued me. I was hoping to find some samples. I didn't know that they didn't have any samples by anybody there. But deals on tools and let's see, some Micromesh is something I really wanted. I wanted a converter for a cross pen. Did not find a good deal on them, even though I found a dealer that had them. Some good paper, some color rings for swatch samples, section pliers, and Renaissance wax, which was actually, I was advised not to do that, not to use that at all by a guy who restores pens for a living who was there. I didn't find an ink sac gauge. I was looking for that. But here's the stuff that I did end up with, and you see there was a lot of stuff that was crossed off from that list. I've been doing Esterbrook pens a lot lately. I've been finding them fairly inexpensive on eBay and getting those. And I needed some number 16 ink sacs. Independence. I'll put up that website for you. And I've bought from them online, and they happened to be there. So since they were there, I went ahead and just bought some ink sacs and didn't have to buy them through the internet and pay to have it shipped. And also they had some talc. I didn't need a whole lot. I just needed enough to do the few pens that I've got that are lever filled and use those ink sacs. Then we kept walking around some and ran across Independence as well was selling these. My philosophy on paper is to use what you would normally use. But, for $2, they had this Clairefontaine paper notepad. So for $2, I figured, hey, why not? I'll give it a try. So I went ahead and broke down and got that. Also, at Independence, I wanted some section pliers. Just the brand new, well, it's new to me anyway, Esterbrook I got yesterday was tough to pull and to get that section out. And while I was there, I actually went to a pen restoration workshop that lasted about an hour, and that gentleman gave me some ideas too on tools to use and some other methods that I have not used yet, and gave me ideas as to what I might want to add to it. Well, one of the other things is I wanted to be able to smooth out nibs a little bit. Now, I wanted to be able to polish barrels appropriately, so I watched YouTube videos and learned from people who already do it. And these right here, Micromesh and the pads, got that from Anderson Pens. I've been watching these online, It's something that I've been wanting to get, a set of these. I've seen other people use them in order to smooth out nibs. I wanted to pick up one of these. 23 bucks. You know, it's not cheap, I guess, but I don't have to pay shipping because I got it right there at the pen show. And also at the same desk, the folks from Anderson Pens. And by the way, it's always good to see people in person rather than just seeing their videos or seeing their website. But, you know, they only had 2 different sets of sheets, an 8,000 and a 12,000 grit. I was hoping to find a whole stack of them in a kit together like they did with these, but they only had these 2. All right, I went ahead and picked those up. So, what the heck. Let's see. As I walked around, I also found a couple of Esterbrook nibs. Replacement nibs that I'm going to put in some new Esterbrook, or at least new to me, Esterbrook pens when I go to work on them. So just 2 of those for right now, because I'm not going to get a tremendous amount more Esterbrooks unless I'm going to design or have designs on working on those a whole lot more and giving them away or selling them, which I don't think I'm really going to do. But I also broke down and went to Crazy Allen's Emporium. As much as I said I wouldn't do it, I went ahead and got a Rhodia dot pad. Now, I see guys doing it all the time, using Rhodia paper and talking up Rhodia, and, as well as Tamaway River, and which I found was a Japanese paper while I was there. But I just got the Rhodia dot pad. I see a lot of folks use those. So, I don't often, this is my first pen show ever, so obviously I don't often go to them, but I got a decent deal on that, so I can't complain, I guess, for that size pad. It's about $9, which I guess is not outrageous. And of course, you go there and they give you a free edition of Pen World magazine. So Pen World is not exactly something that I would subscribe to, only because it's expensive. I'm talking, for just 6 editions, it's like $6 or $7 a piece if you subscribe. So for me, that was just a bit much for my blood. So I decided, all right, I'll take the sample that they're giving and I'll enjoy it. Now, we looked all over. I brought my wife with me, and I let her look at stuff. I offered to buy her several pens. I got a chance to touch some of my Grail pens. There was one, a Demolay Visconti pen for a Knights Templar pen that has been on my watch list on eBay probably twice, and they were going for $3,500. Found someone who was selling them for $2,000. Not that I got to make a choice. Do I go ahead and remodel my bathroom like I'm already in the middle of doing and pay for that, or do I buy a pen set? But I did not plan and had no designs on purchasing a new pen. But as I walked around, we ran across this one nice elderly lady who had been doing this as a part-time job. And she just did some pen shows and some pen sales on the side just to make extra money. She happened to have this little darling right there. Now, a Vanishing Point Pilot in the Carbonesque finish. The blue Carbonesque. I have been wanting one of these Vanishing Point pilots for quite a while now. And it's on my list, literally. I have a wish list, and this pen is on it. And I had been watching online. I've seen pen auctions. I have seen pen raffles, and I know how much they're going for. And I had never actually been able to pick up and touch and play. That's one of the things I like about the pen show, is I got to pick up some 149 pens from Mont Blanc. I was able to touch Visconti pens. I did not find a Homo sapiens pen. That's kind of on my Grail list as well. So I didn't get a chance to play with or touch those. But I saw a whole lot of pens. I mean, I saw some really nice Franklin Christophs. I saw some really nice Viscontis. I saw some really nice pilots. and some nice Mont Blancs. I mean, some awesome pens there. But this particular one, my new Pilot Vanishing Point, is probably now one of my favorite pens. This and my Waterman Caren are right up there, side by side. This is very smooth. One of the smoothest writing pens I've ever used. And what sold me on it was when this lady inked it up right there at the table and let me try it on a pad just like this. And I said, now that's awesome. It's on my list. I have the cash in my wallet, and I didn't plan on it. I was trying to hold back and not purchase any pens, and if I did, it was going to be like a TWSBI Eco. I can spend $30 on a pen, but I went ahead and I shelled out the money, and I found it a lot less of a price that she was asking than I've seen with any other vendor that was out there. So for $20 to $40 cheaper than anywhere else I've seen, I now have myself a brand new Pilot Vanishing Point, and I love it so far. I couldn't tell you what kind of ink it is because she did it at the table, and what's in there now is still what she put into it, and I'll flush it out eventually or when it runs out, and I'll put in my own variety of ink and keep it on my spreadsheet so I can keep track of what it is. The cool thing about going to the pen show is I got to see people that I only saw on the internet. I only got a chance to see the people from Anderson Pens for their podcast. I got a chance to see Mike from Ink Dependence on his video blog. He was hanging out with the Andersons quite a bit. I got a chance to see people who all their websites are pretty much already bookmarked in my web browser, and I got a chance to talk to and meet and sample some of their wares while I was there. I found some pen stores right here in North Carolina that I didn't even know existed, a place where I can find some decent pens. I got a stack of business cards, and I am going to be visiting some websites I haven't been to yet. I'm also going to be stopping at some brick and mortar stores that I had no idea even existed. All right, that's it. Bye.